Welcome back to Rugby Obsession, you rugby fanatics. If you are loving this deep dive content, hit that subscribe button. Today, we are going to unpack a recent piece from Rugby Pass called "Was Dublin Drubbing the End of an Era or a Bump in the Road for Ireland?" A listener sent this in, and it really got us thinking
It really did.
about the future of Irish rugby after their Six Nations match against France
Yeah.
in Dublin. So we'll go through the analysis in the article and look at the concerns raised and the reasons for optimism, hopefully giving you a clear picture of what people are saying about the Irish team right now.
Sounds good.
All right, so this article really captures the mood at Aviva Stadium, right? You
Ugh.
could feel the energy,
Yeah, you could.
especially with all those French supporters there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was electric.
Yeah.
And the article really focuses on that key period in the second half.
Yeah.
Where Ireland were actually winning, but then France just piled on 34 unanswered points in that middle part of the game. It just shows how fast things can turn around at this level, right?
Absolutely, it does. I mean, it goes from what seems like a really close game to a complete,
Yeah.
domination. And the article even suggests that Ireland winning those last few minutes
Right.
couldn't really make up for what had happened. It ended their Grand Slam hopes right there.
Right.
And it just brought up so many questions about where Ireland goes from here.
Exactly. And especially with likely departures of some big names like Peter O'Mahony, Cian Healy, and Conor Murray, and with Johnny Sexton now on the coaching staff, it really feels like we are at a turning point.
Definitely. It feels like the end of an era. The article talks about that feeling of like, well, we had a good run. And then it makes you think, is the glass half full or half empty when it comes to the future of Irish rugby?
Okay, so let's get into some of the potential worries that the article brings up. One that really jumped out was the financial impact of not winning the Grand Slam and the championship. It could be a loss of 6 million euros for the IRFU, and for our listeners, this could trickle down to the provinces and clubs, affecting the resources they have.
Absolutely. And then there is the age thing. The article points out that a possible starting lineup for the 2027 World Cup might have a lot of players over 30, which is something to think about for long-term planning.
And then we have the provincial situation, which is key for the national team. Leinster's obviously dominant. I mean, they basically made up the Six Nations squad, but the article says that Munster, Ulster, and Connacht have had some rough patches. Munster with rough stretches, Ulster having a hard transition, and Connacht relying on a mix of young players and imports.
Yeah.
This difference in performance at the provincial level could really impact the future talent pool.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's interesting is that World Rugby's new rules on foreign players, requiring 5 years of continuous residency, is also changing how Ireland recruits players. They're moving away from just picking project players and now looking more towards players with family ties to Ireland, like Mac Hansen.
Yeah.
This is a big shift in how Ireland is building its squad.
It is.
Then there are concerns about player development. The article mentions that the Ireland under-20s team has been struggling, and their coach pointed out that English and French young players get more high-level game time early on in their domestic and European competitions.
Right.
Which raises the question, are our young stars getting enough experience at a crucial stage in their careers?
Yeah, that is a great point. The article suggests that a young player in Ireland, unless they are truly exceptional, may not get regular game time until they're in their early 20s.
Right.
And while initiatives like the Emerging Ireland Tours are there, it might not be enough to bridge the gap.
And this might be creating a bottleneck of talent, right? Okay, so if you're finding this deep dive interesting, make sure to hit that subscribe button to hear more of our analysis.
Please do.
Another point the article brings up is the potential impact on the Sevens program. There are worries that prioritizing the XVs could mean less funding for Sevens, which is important because players like Hugo Keenan came up through the Sevens system, developing key skills like pace in the wider channels.
That is true. And the article mentions
Which Ireland seems to be lacking right now.
that Ireland is struggling with that.
So it shows how connected the different levels of rugby are.
Absolutely, yeah.
Having a strong Sevens program can really help develop skills that benefit the XV's game.
Yeah.
But, let's switch gears a bit here. The article also presents a glass-half-full perspective, which is important to consider.
Right, it does.
It emphasizes how successful the Ireland under-20s have been, winning 3 of the last 6 under-26 nations, all with Grand Slams. They've also been consistently strong in the Under-20 World Rugby Championship. So this clearly shows a healthy pipeline of talented young players.
Right.
And we're already seeing this with players from those successful under-20 squads getting regular game time at the provincial level and even earning test caps.
Yeah.
Names like Charlie Tector, Jack Boyle, Sam Prendergast, Gus McCarthy are mentioned.
Yeah, and there is Diarmuid Mangan, who was called up to the senior squad.
Exactly.
So there is definitely a sense of young players pushing for their chance.
And then, of course, there's the strength of Leinster. They're always in the Champions Cup finals, winning league titles. The article suggests that if Leinster wins a major European title this season, it could really boost Irish rugby.
I agree.
Especially with their new signings like Jordy Barrett, R.G. Snyman, and Rabah Slimani.
Yeah.
Plus, they're becoming more and more ruthless under Jacques Nienaber.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Definitely.
And another encouraging thing the article points out is the strong fan engagement.
Right.
The massive crowd for Leinster versus Munster at Croke Park.
Yeah.
Connacht selling out their game against Munster. And even a packed soccer match at Aviva.
Right.
All show that people are hungry for big sporting events. The article even suggests, maybe hosting some Ireland tests at Croke Park to make the most of this.
That's an interesting idea.
So it shows a real passion for the game and willingness to support big events. Exploring new ways to engage fans, like using bigger venues, could really boost Irish rugby.
Absolutely, yeah.
Both financially and in terms of atmosphere. And finally, a big reason for optimism has to be Andy Farrell.
Oh, yeah.
The article highlights his positive impact as head coach, building on Joe Schmidt's work and leading Ireland to some historic wins.
Right.
His return after the British and Irish Lions tour is definitely seen as a good thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. His leadership has been amazing.
And the culture he's built within the team has been incredible.
Yeah.
So this Rugby Pass article gives a really balanced view, looking at both the challenges and reason to be hopeful about Irish rugby.
Right.
We'd love to hear what you think. Do you agree that it's just a bump in the road, or do you see bigger problems ahead? Share your thoughts in the comments.
I'd love to hear what the listeners have to say.
That was a fascinating look at the future of Irish rugby, sparked by that loss in Dublin.
It was.
The Rugby Pass article we looked at really gives us a lot to think about.
Yeah, just
highlighting both potential issues and definite reasons to be optimistic.
Yeah.
And if you are enjoying these deep dives, don't forget to subscribe to Rugby Obsession for more in-depth discussions and analysis.
Please do.
Thank you for tuning in to the Rugby Obsession podcast.
Thank you.
We look forward to you listening to our next episode.
See you next time.
Goodbye.